big, rear-wheel drive, luxury-branded sedans seem archaic as the 21st century heads toward its third decade. Maybe the Mercedes-Benz S-Class will always be around, but Lexus could have let the LS die. After a few wistful tears and melancholy reflections, the world would have moved on. After all, Lexus makes its real money selling crossovers and SUVs. Yet here's a new big Lexus Ford Tour, the direct successor to the original 1990 LS 400 that rocket-launched the brand into existence and also the only Japan-made vehicle of its type still sold in North America. High's lovely details, some daring design elements, built like a beryllium atom. Low's isolated driving dynamics, overwrought spindle grille, little mechanical character. Details if God is in the details, then the new 5th generation 2018 Lexus LS 500 packs a supernatural punch. This is a car best appreciated at the granular level, where texture and intricacy invite ever greater microscopic investigation and where you forget overall impressions and dive into the minutiae. But the big picture matters, too, and that's more problematic. Like, where'd the V8 go? Except for a few floor stampings and some of the rear suspension, the latest LS is pretty much all new. Now riding on a 123.0-inch wheelbase and stretching a full 206.1 inches overall, it's actually longer than ever before. The sole wheelbase option is 1.3 inches greater than that of the previous L model, as distinct from the discontinued and shorter non version, and overall length is up an inch, too. The new car is also an inch wider and an inch lower. So the new LS 500 and LS 500h hybrid are big mothers. They are still a smidge shorter than the U.S. market's class, but the smidge has tightened to less than an inch. The new LS is the largest car any Japanese manufacturers did sell in the United States. And as is increasingly common in this class, both versions are available with either rear or all-wheel drive. Sayonara, V8. Whereas every previous generation LS has relied upon V8 engines for propulsion, the new one is a V6 only proposition. The standard engine is the new V35 aft's direct-injected, twin-turbocharged stock 24-valve V6. With a relatively long 100.0mm stroke, this 3.4-litre V6 is tuned for torque production, and it slugs out a seamless 442 lb-ft from 1600 to 4800 revolutions per minute. Meanwhile, the 416 horsepower peak occurs at 6000 revolutions per minute, which is an area of the tachometer that the silky shifting 10-speed automatic transmission prefers to keep the engine away from. The 416 horsepower represents a 30 horsepower bump over the previous LS 460's 4.6-litre V8. But it's the increase over the V8's 367 lb-ft of peak torque that is more significant. Although the V8 delivered good low-end wallop, its torque peak was up at 4100 revolutions per minute. The Turbo V6's additional 75 lb-ft not only is greater in quantity but is delivered over a lower, broader rev range. Hybrid times the 500 hours S hybrid powertrain is similar to that of the LC 500h coupe and uses a different, naturally aspirated, Atkins cycle 3.5-litre V6, the 8GR-FXS. A member of Toyota's GR family of V6s that appears in everything from the Tacoma pickup to the Camry and plenty of other Lexus models. It has a shorter, 83.0mm stroke. In this application, Lexus rates it at 295 horsepower before adding in the whirring electric motors. In Lexus speak, those electric motors are motor generator 1 and motor generator 2. Both are water-cooled, permanent magnet units responsible for both propulsion and regenerative braking, and they're fed by 84 lithium-ion cells. Combined Thing 1 and Thing 2 with the V6 and total system output is 354 horsepower. The trick element in the hybrid system, however, is the transmission that Lexus rather humbly describes as a multi-stage hybrid. The dauntingly complex transmission uses a 4-speed planetary gearbox coupled with the elements of a hybrid's continuously variable transmission. The two halves are effectively programmed to make a 10-speed automatic transmission while still allowing for some all-electric motoring. Lost in the spindle, put your eyeballs within a few inches of the grille, and the pattern of the mesh is either hypnotic or mesmerizing, depending on your state of mind. It's like a kid's spirograph design that has been computer modeled in 3D during a beer bust at Pixar. In all its intricacies, it is fascinating. Choosing the F-Sport version of the LS brings with it a grille that's just as detailed, though not as interesting to contemplate as one loses touch with reality. All that texture exists within Lexus's controversial spindle design. The massive maw of the spindle defines the front of the LS, and there are plenty of other neat details in the styling. The side view mirrors are kind of glorious little sculptures on their own, and they all combine to produce a vehicle that is half Maserati, half Mercedes, and with a third half that's advanced Venusian. It doesn't look quite like anything else. But the best use of design is inside the LS. While the regular LS interior is all leather and wood trim conventional luxury car, the available executive interior package tries something different. Instead of the usual leather upholstered door panels, there's pleated, origami-inspired fabric that looks both elegant and very Japanese. And in place of fine-grain wood, the doors are accented with cut Kiriko glass panels with cast etching and facets that push the definition of luxuriousness. Yeah, there are all sorts of wood and leather and aluminium options available with other packages, but it's the stretch to incorporate these new ideas that makes the executive interior a worthwhile option. The dashboard design is a mix of Art Deco striations, nicely textured knobs, LCD displays, and two knobs poking out from either side of the gauge hood reminiscent of controls in the LFA supercar. Lexus has taken some design chances in here, and it all works. With prices for the LS starting at about $75,000 and topping out at nearly $100,000 after stuffing in all the options, Lexus naturally includes all the equipment and technology expected in this class of vehicle. The seats are massive and comfortable, everything works with precision, and every display is vivid. Longer exposure may find some ergonomic hiccups, but at least initially this seems to be a completely logical luxury liner. Luxury. On mute. No matter the trim or the powertrain, the LS offers an insulated, muted driving experience. The steering feels weighted a touch heavier in the F-Sport, and the 24545 RF20 front and 27540 RF20 rear tires may be a bit stickier than in other models that employ 245 width rubber at every corner on either 19 or 20-inch wheels. But that's going to take track time to verify. First impressions of the V6 are those of an easygoing companion that over-delivers on thrust. Lexus claims a 0 to 60 mph time of only 4.6 seconds for the rear-drive LS 500, and that's in a dreadnought that weighs nearly 5,000 pounds. We think Lexus's claim is too quick, considering 4.6 seconds is all we could get out of the more powerful and lighter LC 500. The EPA has yet to sign off on fuel economy ratings, but we surmise that Lexus's estimates of 19 miles per gallon in the city and 29 miles per gallon highway for the rear-drive LS 500 and 1,827 miles per gallon with all-wheel drive are on target. It would be nice if the turbo V6 had a discernible voice, though. The LS 500H does have an exhaust note, which is a lot like a Tacoma's. But otherwise it is hard to determine that anything exotic is going on with the hybrid system or with the magically complex transmission. Lexus claims the LS 500H with rear-wheel drive will glide to 60 miles per hour in 5.1 seconds again, probably optimistic, with the all-wheel drive version taking another tenth. Fuel economy estimates are 25 miles per gallon in the city and 33 miles per gallon on the highway for the rear-drive LS 500H. Knock 2 miles per gallon off each number for the all-wheel drive version. The LS has long been a stalwart, beautifully built, and often boring machine. Lexus has taken a few more design chances with this latest version, and that may pay off in getting it noticed. That is, if anyone cares about big sedans with trunks anymore.
Yeah.